This video is brought to you by the 3-Minute Board Game patrons. Keep us independent by supporting us on Patreon. Kia ora koutou and welcome to Arborea in about 3 minutes, review copy used. It has a solo mode, it's a game for 1 to 5 players, playing time is long, and it's a pretty complicated game. You are a nature spirit trying to rejuvenate the land. Can you use your powers to restore and rehome the most critters? Set the sun marker on this track based on the number of players. It will advance each time an action with the sun icon is taken. When it reaches the end of the track, each player will have 2 more turns tracked using these markers. Then the winner is the player with the most points, and you score them from all these different categories. Worker placement. You'll place workers and use them to take actions. Tile placement. You'll build a habitat using cards and place critters on them. Player turn. In turn order, each player places a marker on the spirit track. This is a resource and scores you points at the end of the game. Each player has a board, influence cubes, 2 main workers, and 6 special workers in 2 different types. When you place a worker, you can only place one from the bottom paddock. Actions on the board will allow the special workers to move into that paddock. But once workers are reclaimed from the board, only your main workers will go back to the main paddock. On the board there are 4 tracks, each with 2 sets of paths alongside it. On your turn you will either move one of these paths 1 step, or you will place one of your workers on the path. You may spend 2 spirit to take 2 actions here. Then you may choose up to 2 of your workers and have them leave the track, going to either side path. You may spend spirit to use 3 workers, and they do not need to be on the same track. You can also just leave your workers on the track. When a worker leaves the track, they will, one at a time, take all the actions between where they left and the track's exit. Let's look at those different actions. These icons are how you get special workers into your supply. These icons represent gathering resources into the shared pool, moving the top half of the matching marker up. If you don't use those resources on your turn, score the points for each resource you gain, and then move the bottom marker up. This action allows you to take 1 card from the biome display. Each card has different costs and rewards, and cards go into one of the 3 slots on your board. You can invite creatures to the board. This moves the sun marker, and also gets you the reward on the board when you place them. You can attract creatures from here to your own board to place later. This action lets you place a gift token on one of the 8 sage boxes around the board, or advance your token 1 step on those tracks. And this icon gives you a number of rewards from the sage based on the gifts you've given them. If you placed one of these icons, advance your marker on the matching track. These represent other scoring options, and your cube position is your multiplier. Once all actions are done, advance all tracks with your workers 1 space, returning the row to the back if it goes over the edge. Advance 2 spaces for white special workers. You can place a biome card down, paying the resource cost from the main display. Biome cards can overlap. Critters you gain can be placed in your tableau in any fully surrounded space that does not border another critter. Each critter type scores differently, and water gives a bonus score. Why would you like this game? Put on those sunglasses, because this board and the visuals in this game are some of the most colourful I've ever seen. But the things that make this game work are its interesting combination of highly interactive features for a modern Euro game and its sandbox-like nature. Every action you take impacts other players, and that's refreshing. You want players to generate resources you can use, and you want to take the critters they attracted. And that makes for a game that keeps you focused on the main board when it's not your turn and not staring into space. There's really no obvious path to victory, and Arborea rewards opportunism and mid-game pivots as well. It would really suit the sort of heavy Eurogame fan who likes vital asserter games. The best thing about this game is its interconnectedness of its systems, like the shared resources, tracks, and critter pools. However, because there are a lot of interconnected parts here, it's really easy to lose track of what you are doing and how you're going to score points. And the scoring margins between players it clicks with and those who don't are massive. The theme is pretty nebulous too, and it's hard to get into what you're actually doing. And you better like that board, because you'll be looking at it a lot. For a different take on tracks, try Zolkin. And for another game by the same designer, try Barcelona. Arborea, what colour would you like the board?
Yes.
And if you enjoyed this video, hit the notification button, like, share, and subscribe to the channel.